Welcome everybody. I'm the air quotes comedian, the bloke with such an annoying voice that the World Health Organization deemed it as an international health hazard. And this is the Polemics podcast. Welcome. I'm a pedantic tosser, so one thing I like in life is correcting people who quote things that have incorrectly been attributed to famous characters, be they fictional ones or otherwise. For example, you may recall Sherlock Holmes' famous phrase, "Good grief, Watson, that's a big one. I've never seen one so big. You'd better put it away lest the ladies see it and faint." Which, of course, is something that Sherlock Holmes never actually said, not in Arthur Conan Doyle's books anyway. Another example is that famous line attributed to Darth Vader in The Empire Goes on Strike, where he says,
"Luke, that's a big one. I've never seen one so big. You'd better put it away in case the single solitary woman in our universe sees it and space faints."
Which, of course, he never actually said. Or that time in Star Trek with Mr. Sulu where he says, "Oh my, that's a big one. I've never seen one so big. You better put it up my bum." Which, although you might think he said that, in fact, he never did. It's just people misremembering things, and there's a name for it. It's called the Manchester effect. As you'll no doubt recall, a number of people swear that a large city in the north of England called Manchester exists, but, Manchester does not and never has existed, despite what the cartographers and people living in the misremembered city might say. I know what I'm talking about because I've been to Manchester and can affirm that indeed there's nothing there other than a huge city. There are many examples of the Mandela effect. My own personal experience of this phenomenon happened when I was in school taking exams. Physiology and or psychology teaches us that memory is somewhat fluid because every time we recall a memory we alter it somewhat, which is possibly the reason that when I went horse riding many years ago I distinctly remember my mount being a unicorn, which, much like the city of Manchester, doesn't exist. So memory really cannot be trusted. Was my childhood happy? I'll be buggered if I know. Is the defendant the person you saw stealing candy from the baby? Fuck knows, Your Honour. Does 2 + 2 = 4? There's no reliable way to remember without using a calculator, assuming I can remember how to use a calculator or even recall what exactly a calculator is. So, memory cannot be counted on. But what about losing it completely? That's a terrifying notion, isn't it? Okay, before I go on, I just want to point out that making fun of Alzheimer's patients is okay because what did I come into this room for? I think Alzheimer's disease should be a bit more considerate to the people it inflicts itself upon. Instead of just a blanket deterioration of memories, why not be selective? Just erase the bad memories. I can think of a few. Every game show I've ever seen, gone. That time I waved at somebody but they weren't who they thought I was, gone. It's called wordplay, keep up. That time I cut off my hand to replace it with a hook, gone. Fuck! Where's my hand? Yeah, Alzheimer's should be a bit more like eternal sunshine of the acne-free mind and a bit less the last memory you're going to have is of Pierre Morgan's sex face. Nostalgia. Probably not a word that should be used after I cruelly invoke the image of Pierre Morgan's sex face. But cracking on, nostalgia is something that annoys me. I like to think that I live in the here and now without any need to look back into my past with a sense of yearning. I've re-watched television shows that I enjoyed as a child and realised that, as a child, I was a fucking idiot. Some people contend that I'm still a fucking idiot. Mostly my friends and family. Bunch of tossers. In 1998, I lived in Leeds with my girlfriend. Right next door to the house was a small newsagent. On Sunday morning, one of us would pop to the newsagent to purchase the Sunday broadsheets, right? And then we'd read them in bed. I don't remember the biases of the Sunday broadsheets that my girlfriend and I would read in bed on Sunday mornings in 1998, but at the time I didn't really care, because reading the Sunday broadsheets in bed with my then girlfriend in Leeds circa 1998 wasn't really about reading. It was more about doing an activity with somebody I loved, an activity we shared that wasn't fucking. Patrick, I hear you say, that sounds like quite a happy memory, but you seem to be recounting it with some degree of scorn and derision. What's wrong with you? To which I respond, happy memory? Happy fucking memory? Well, yes, actually, I suppose it is a happy memory, but every time I do remember it, I am reminded that my happiness was cruelly yanked away from me, so I can't enjoy the memory, can I? The memory of reading the Sunday broadsheets on Sunday morning with my then girlfriend in our bed in 1998 in Leeds. Every time I remember it, it's like my inner self is hollowed out and ejected through my oral orifice like some kind of metaphorical vomit. I have to scoop up the vomit with my bare hands and eat it, because I need my inner self to be inside me. But the act of eating the vomit causes so much gagging that when I finally reclaim my inner self, I sick it all back up again, only this time it's not just my inner self that's expelled, but my soul, which I don't believe in. So, exhausted by the physical exertion of spewing out my inner self and my soul, which I don't believe in, I have to use my bare hands to scoop up all the vomit and eat it, because I need my inner self and my soul, don't believe in it, to be inside of me. So gagging and choking, I eat the emesis that is comprised of my inner self and a soul that I don't believe in, and I manage to get it down. But of course, it doesn't sit right, and so I throw it all up yet a fucking again, but this time there's more of it, because along with my inner self and a soul that I don't believe in, there's some minor internal organs mixed in the morass of spew. Well, I definitely need my internal organs to be internalized, along with my inner self and a soul I don't believe in. Practically dead from all my exertions, I use my bare hands to scoop up my inner self, a soul I don't believe in, and some minor internal organs that I need inside of me, and I choke, gag, and retch while I force the disgusting soup into my mouth. Eventually, after much physical effort, I finally managed to get my inner self, a soul I don't believe in, and some minor internal organs back into my body. But oh no, it's not sitting well at all, and I start retching. I cover my mouth and hold my belly with the other hand, but my guts are rumbling and gurgling, and I'm retching, and then I projectile vomit my inner self, the soul I don't believe in, some minor internal organs, and my life force itself. I projectile vomit so hard that it hits the wall, deflects from the wall, and hits the floor with such force that it deflects from the floor and goes right up my arsehole. Still, good times.